Gary Player, the 89-year-old legend they're calling a fraud, he is a fraud. That's what they're saying about Gary Player these days. At 89 years old, the golf legend is facing more heat than ever before. Critics call him a liar. They question his wild claims. They mock his political views. Some even whisper about cheating scandals from decades past. But hold on. Before we pile on to this nearly 90-year-old man, maybe we should look at the whole story. Because Gary Player isn't just some old guy making noise. He's one of only 5 golfers in history to win the career Grand Slam. And maybe, just maybe, he deserves better than being called a fraud. Gary Player was born in South Africa in 1935. His mother died when he was 8. His father worked in a gold mine. Young Gary didn't have much, but he had determination. He turned professional at just 17 years old in 1953. Most people thought this small kid from Africa would never make it on the world stage. They were wrong. Player worked harder than anyone. While other golfers partied, he exercised. While they ate junk food, he studied nutrition. He wore all black clothing, earning the nickname the Black Knight. He said fitness was the key to longevity. Even his critics admit he was right about that. In 1965, Player achieved something incredible. He completed the career Grand Slam at age 29. Only Gene Sarazen and Ben Hogan had done it before him. Player won 3 Open championships, 3 Masters, 2 PGA championships, and 1 US Open. 9 major championships total. That ties him for 4th all time. But Player's biggest impact came from his rivalry with Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer. Together, they were called the Big Three. They made golf popular around the world. Palmer had the charisma, Nicklaus had the power, Player had the grit. Yet even then, Player felt overlooked. Palmer and Nicklaus got more attention. This might explain why Player has always been so vocal about his achievements. Now let's talk about those cheating allegations. The rumors have followed Player for decades. In 1974, he won the Open Championship at Royal Latham. Ugly whispers started immediately. People claimed his caddy, Rabbit Dyer, dropped a replacement ball down his pants leg. They said Player's original ball was lost in thick rough. If true, it would have been a serious rules violation. Player has always denied this completely. He points out that TV cameras were everywhere. Officials were watching. He even asked an official to time him during the 5-minute search rule. A marshal found his original ball with seconds to spare. Player says the idea that his caddy cheated is impossible. The more direct confrontation happened in 1983. At the Skins game in Arizona, Tom Watson accused Player of moving a rooted leaf from behind his ball. Watson made this accusation privately, but a reporter overheard. It became a huge controversy. Player was shocked. He called rule-breaking the most heinous charge against any golfer. But then Player did something interesting. He fought back hard. In a later book, Player accused Watson of winning 2 major championships using illegally grooved clubs. Watson denied this, and his titles were never taken away. This shows us something important about Player's character. He doesn't just defend himself, he attacks back. Here's the key point. No official ever penalized Player for cheating. No governing body ever found evidence. Yes, rumors persist, but rumors aren't facts. Let's move to Player's famous claims about his golf game. He says he has shot his age over 3,000 times. In 2023, he updated this to 3,072 times. He brags about averaging 72 strokes at age 86. That would be 14 strokes under his age. Critics call this impossible. Forum users have done the math. To shoot your age 3,000 times, you'd need to play 130 to 230 rounds per year. Every single round would have to be at or under your age. Records show Player shot above his age in Masters events as late as 2009, when he was 74. Critics use words like grandiose narcissism to describe his claims. But here's another way to look at it. Player is 89 years old. He's still passionate about golf. He still believes in himself. Maybe his numbers are exaggerated. Maybe he's lost track over the decades. But at least he's still out there playing. Besides, Player's fitness claims aren't completely crazy. He's been obsessed with physical conditioning his entire career. He's probably in better shape than most 60-year-olds. If anyone could shoot their age regularly, it would be Gary Player. These personal claims also support his broader message about golf. Player believes modern equipment has made the game too easy. He wants the PGA Tour to ban modern golf balls. He thinks they should be cut back 50 to 60 yards. His reasoning? Professional players now hit 8 irons on par 5s. This eliminates the strategic challenge. Player also wants to ban long putters and belly putters. He says they remove nerves from the game. Golf should be 30 to 40% nerves, and according to Player. Success should come from skill and mental fortitude, not advanced equipment. He criticizes modern golfers for focusing on distance over finesse. He mentions Rory McIlroy's 400-pound deadlift as proof that golf has become about brute force. Some call this old-fashioned thinking, but Player lived through golf's evolution. Maybe he has a point about the game becoming easier. Player's views get even more controversial when we talk politics. He's a vocal supporter of Donald Trump. In 2021, Trump awarded him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. At a 2024 tournament, Player compared Trump to Winston Churchill. He said Trump would bring back a sense of discipline and pride. Player describes Trump as incredibly compassionate and praises his golf ability. He plays golf with Trump almost every 3 weeks. This creates complications for Player's golf relationships. He serves as an international ambassador for Golf Saudi, yet he also criticizes LIV Golf, the Saudi-backed tour. Player calls LIV a tour for people who don't have confidence in their future. He questions winning championships in a 54 holes, no-cut format. Player claims he rejected a lucrative deal from LIV Golf out of loyalty to the PGA Tour. This puts Player in an odd position. He works with Saudi golf interests but opposes their tour. Player also advocates for Trump's Turnberry Golf Course to return to the Open Championship rotation. The R&A has excluded Turnberry since 2009 due to Trump controversies. Player calls this exclusion wrong and cruel and unfair. Player is equally outspoken about golf course design. During the 2015 U.S. Open at Chambers Bay, he delivered a brutal critique on live television. He called it the most unpleasant golf tournament I've seen in my life. He said the designer, Robert Trent Jones Jr., had to have had one leg shorter than the other. Jones Jr. called Player a showboater in response. This prompted a 618-word statement from Player's website. Player accused Jones Jr. of being overly defensive and showing disrespect. He leveraged his status as a Grand Slam champion and designer of 400 golf courses to justify his criticism. Through all these controversies, one thing remains clear. Gary Player genuinely loves golf. He's passionate about the game's integrity. He worries about its future direction. Yes, he can be combative. Yes, his claims sometimes seem exaggerated, but he's fighting for something he believes in. Player represents a generation of golfers who played a different game. They used basic equipment. They dealt with slower greens and harder conditions. When Player criticizes modern golf, he's defending the game he knew and loved. At 89, Player could easily fade into quiet retirement. Instead, he remains engaged. He speaks his mind. He takes controversial positions. The cheating allegations will probably never be fully resolved. But consider this. Player has been under scrutiny for 60 years. If he was really a cheat, wouldn't definitive proof have emerged by now? His exaggerated claims about shooting his age are harder to defend, but maybe Player is trying to inspire people. Maybe he wants to show that age doesn't have to mean giving up. Gary Player achieved the career Grand Slam. He won 9 majors. He helped make golf a global sport. He's been a fitness pioneer. At 89, he's still passionate about the game. Yes, Player can be difficult. Yes, he makes questionable claims. Yes, his politics are divisive. But calling him a fraud ignores his massive contributions to golf. Maybe Gary Player exaggerates sometimes. Maybe he fights too hard for recognition. But he's earned the right to speak his mind. He's given everything to golf. At 89 years old, Gary Player is still fighting for his legacy, fighting for his version of golf. In the end, Gary Player isn't a fraud. He's a complicated man who lived an extraordinary life. At 89, maybe that's exactly what the game needs. Someone who still cares enough to fight for it.